What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, okay? It is the 16th day of February, and here we are sitting at about $68.5 thousand, looking like we do want to come down a little bit. Again, because of this potential bullish bat pattern that we're in, which the bullish bat literally looks like this from a low to a high, right? Because of this pattern, it is possible that we do see a higher low. It is completely possible that we do see a slightly higher low. It's also possible that we could see a slightly lower low. If we look at this from a high to a low, or a low to a high here, low to maybe this high here, if we were to find support at the 886 at $61.3 thousand, that would form a bullish bat. That would be the prospects of this bullish bat. But there's still a very real possibility that we could go down to about 57 to 53.4K as well. There are several different Fibonacci levels that line up in this kind of area. We take this low to high of our last kind of significant consolidation phase. You can see here the low that we have just barely missed the 2618. And this kind of area, the 2618 to the 3113, it's not the exact same as this area, the 1272 to the 1618, right? It's not the exact same, but this area, based off of this low to high fib, makes sense. Again, this is where we have circled, right? It makes a lot of sense to me as far as where we would extend if we were to go below this low. If we were to go below 60K, this is likely where we'd find support, and that zone lines up pretty well with this zone as well. There is a chance that we don't go this low, that we don't come down to this area, but instead we find support at the 2618, at this red line right here. So maybe this zone should be opened up a little bit more like this, something like that. But again, of course, we could still find this higher low. We could bounce at the 886. I feel like I have noticed a little bit of respect on the 886 lately from Bitcoin and various other cryptos, so it is very possible. I mean, even from here, from a high to a low, where you found resistance, I'm pretty sure it was the 886, wasn't it? You found resistance just below the 886, in between the 786, 886, but somewhere in that area nonetheless. Looking at this on the short-term stuff, looking at the 1 hour time frame, and then zooming out from there, you can see that, again, we had this, we kind of have this downtrend here, broke out of it, moved up higher. You had an initial surge in volume, but there was no volume on the way up. The volume that happened here wasn't on the way up, it was on the way down right here. You had a lot of volume coming in on these two selling candles, and a lot of volume came in right there. We also had volume pick up as we were from here coming down. There's a lot of volume that picked up as well, not from here going up. So I do think a lot of volume coming down here, a lot of volume coming down here, no volume coming in as we're moving up through here, right? That makes you think that we tried moving higher, right? Here we were, we moved up. We tried to move higher to get a higher high. There's no volume that came in, so we're going to retest lower lows. At least relative to this, but I do think relative to this as well, we'll see. We've broken out of our uptrend, higher lows, higher highs. We've broken out of that with size, with volume. And not only that, we consolidated. It's pretty common whenever you move down to consolidate to the upside and then move down. Right, just like if you're moving up, you consolidate to the downside, and then you move up like this. It's very common to do that. This harsh rejection here on the 1 hour that we just experienced with size, with volume, tells me again this is another type of like fake out. This is a bull trap here for any of the degens who are trading on the short-term time frames, right? Oh, it broke out. That means it's going up. Trap a bunch of people going long. We're just finding resistance at prior support right there. At prior resistance right here as well. Resistance back here, support back here. It's all in that same kind of area. And we are not just finding resistance, we are rejecting. That makes me think that we have lower to go. The 1 hour RSI, you can see it here. I mean, just look at this here. All of these lower highs here, you were getting overbought. You had no problem. This is really bullish here. This is a very, very bullish look here. And then as it goes on, that's not so bullish. And then here, that's exactly what you don't want to see. You don't want to see a slow grind into rejecting the overbought zone, which is exactly what's happening here. I think that we will go lower. I think we're in this overall kind of lower high, lower low broadening wedge. And if I'm right, the same kind of consequence that happened here when we got overbought should be happening here when we got oversold, but to the reverse effect. What I mean by that is we look here, once we got overbought, I mean, sure, we found our low well before we got overbought. We found our low well before back here. But once we got overbought, this whole move up, the meat of the move, the best part of the move happened here when we were overbought. Okay, we're moving down. And of course, the high happened back here, but the meat of the move, the big part of the move, will probably happen once we get oversold. Okay, and that doesn't mean that it stops there. We got overbought again, we pushed higher, whatever. I do think that we're going to see some fierce movement to the downside. Probably today. Probably today. It is Monday. It is the beginning of a new week. Probably today. RSI looks bearish. Stochastics look bearish. MACD looks bearish. Down we go. 4-hour time frame. That looks like a fake out if I've ever seen it. It's like here. You broke out of this. This is your bull trap right here. Now you have a little mini bull trap as well. It's like a bull trap that looked like a bear trap right here that looked, and then it formed another bull trap just to make this look like a bear trap, and now we're going down. It's very, very tricky. Very, very tricky. But overall, I think if you zoom out, it's less tricky. The short-term stuff seems tricky. But whenever we're on the 4-hour and the daily, I feel like it's less tricky. And even still, on the 1 hour, there's clearly signs that we are going to come down. We had bullish divergence, and that's all we got. You know, we rejected the oversold zone after getting in the overbought zone a lot. That's all we got. We got to, you know what I mean? It doesn't look good here. 4-hour time frame, I'm going to stop talking so much. Looking at the RSI, rejecting the overbought zone, double top there. No good, no bueno, but you do have a nice little uptrend, higher lows and higher highs. It'd be interesting to see if this trend holds, if it perseveres, or if we do break through it. You know, we kind of had an uptrend here, higher lows, higher highs, and we broke through that trend after interacting with the overbought zone, which is exactly where we are now. Maybe this wasn't a trend after all. Maybe we were just moving sideways. And maybe it's like the same thing here. I don't know. Stochastics look bearish. The MACD, for all intents and purposes, it does look bearish as well. There's some hope. There's some hope. I'll tell you what, if you can hold this line right here and move up, there's some hope. But if not, no, definitely not. So with that, I guess we have parameters to prove me wrong. If we can get a 4-hour time frame to close above about 70K, a 4-hour time frame, let's say 2 4-hour time frames in a row to close above 70K, okay, then maybe we are moving higher. But until then, I maintain the stance that we're moving lower. We look at the daily time frame. RSI, again, it looks weak to me. You bounced off the oversold zone, which is a very bullish thing. You got higher highs in your RSI, relatively speaking. This high is higher right here than this high is, right? But you have lower highs in the price. You took your bullish thing, you got a bearish thing, hidden bearish divergence, and now you're probably going to move down. Stochastics rejecting the 50. We've seen this happen before. We've seen, you know, areas around the 50 reject before. Right here, reject. Right here, reject. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. It definitely happens more often than not. I shouldn't say more often than not, but it's pretty common. I guess it's more common to just move through, not to just find resistance here, but this is a point where you'd expect to find resistance. We have hidden bearish divergence on the daily RSI, and I mean the MACD here, it's turning green, which is nice, but you can get false crosses. We've seen that happen too. You get a false red cross here, this could be a false green cross. I think if we start moving down here today, like I think we will, I mean, we might even be below 65K today, you guys, if not sometime tomorrow, pretty soon. I think that we'll start off this week to the downside, and then mark my words, we'll finish this week coming back up. I wouldn't be surprised at all if in the same week we went below this low and we came back up, we closed at this price. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But that's not the call. That's not the call. That's just something to discuss, something to say, because I want you all to understand that, yes, while we are predicting that the price will come down, no, it's not going to be this long, drawn-out process. It's going to be a quick process, and maybe by the end of this week we're back up here. Maybe it's sometime next week, but one way or another we're going to be singing Kumbaya, watching the sunrise soon enough, and we'll be returning back to prices around, but probably not above 80K going into the end of this month and the beginning of March. That's the expectation. I got nothing else. I hear my cats meowing, so I'm going to let them inside. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.